On the 22nd of July, South Africa introduced a request for consultations in the framework of the WTO on precisely the new regime for the import of citrus from third countries, including South Africa. So a few days later, on the 26th of July, we accepted this request for consultations, and now we are ready to find the right date and the modalities for these consultations to take place as soon as possible. In the meantime, we have had, of course, discussions by the experts at technical level. And we had these discussions last Friday where we informed the authorities that in order to avoid the destructions of the consignments that are already in EU ports, so that we don't want to destroy the fruit, member states are applying this special additional cooling treatment to ensure that they are in compliance with our new phytosanitary requirements. So we have not changed the rules. What we are doing is doing this extra work to avoid destroying the food. But of course, this results in shifting the responsibility to the member states, and it's not sustainable in the long term. So we do need to find a solution to make sure that we can continue to allow the imports and in line with the new EU requirements.
So are you saying there's actually no deal to speak of yet?
We have to discuss this in the framework of the WTO in the consultations which have not taken place. What we are doing is to try to facilitate the entry of those fruits that were already on the way. But again, it has to be done in a way that is sustainable. So in the long run, we need to find a solution that is happening already on the South African side to avoid, again, this disruption of trade.
So South African farmers, this has obviously been a difficult situation for them. Their products trapped in ports, not getting to their buyers. Can you understand that frustration, and do you really expect them to take more action given this negative experience over the last few days?
Yeah, so that is precisely why we gave sufficient time to South African producers to comply with the rules. So since the measure was adopted until it entered into force on the 14th of July, there were 23 days. So producers had the time to comply with the new measures and make sure that the new consignments they were saying they were in compliance. And again, we are ready to engage constructively and in good faith with our South African partners in the WTO framework to really find a good solution.
Can you just remind us what the problem is in the first place? What is it that the European Union or the Commission is worried about?
Yeah, so there is this pest called false codling moth that doesn't exist in the EU territory. It does exist in certain parts of Africa and other parts of the world. And we want to avoid that this pest enters the European Union territory and, of course, would have a very dramatic impact on the agriculture and on the environment. And that's why we put in place these stricter measures. And we were discussing them with the different partners with sufficient time to explain the reasons behind. So we want to again protect the EU territory, avoid the entrance of this disease, and that's why we put in place stricter phytosanitary measures.
Overall, South Africa is a really important trading partner for the European Union, so you want to keep this on positive terms, presumably.
Exactly, and that's why I said that we will engage in good faith, that we will find constructive solutions, and that's what we have been doing so far, and trying really to avoid that these fruits are destroyed.